Jalen Ramsey. Was he the best corner in this draft?
Yes.
You can argue that he isn't. I mean, especially what Howard has done the last couple of years.
Yeah, but Howard's only done it for more, I think, 3 year window, whereas Ramsey's done it his whole career.
That's fine, but Ramsey, I would say in the 3 years that he has been dominating in Howard, I didn't realize how dominant he is.
You said last year he was overrated.
Yeah, he was. But you want to know something? After I see, you could say whatever I said last year. I'm talking about this year and what I saw with the numbers this year, the 10 interceptions that he had this year, where there are players that don't have more than 19 interceptions their whole career. This guy's got 20-something. Okay, so when you look at the big picture right now, I think Howard is just as good or even better than Jalen Ramsey because of his ball hawking skills and what he has done for Miami and solidified that corner position.
Ramsey still possesses those ball skills. If he didn't have those ball skills.
And what has Ramsey done? I mean, he's been on a great defensive team with arguably the best defensive player in the league, and they still can't get over the hump. They still can't go to a championship, and I don't want to hear it. Defense wins championships. So as good as Jalen Ramsey is, I think Howard in the last 2 years has way better numbers than Jalen Ramsey. And Jalen Ramsey's been in the league for 4 years. If you're going to tell me that Jalen Ramsey did better in 2 years over what Howard has done in the same amount of time, I'm going to take Howard. His numbers are better than Jalen Ramsey's.
Howard had the better year this year, for sure. I'm not going to deny that. I agree with you. He should have won Defensive Player of the Year. I think he was robbed. But, again, the whole track record of their whole career.
Go to the numbers. Go to the numbers and compare their numbers.
2019, he was good. Number one type corner.
I just want to know what his numbers, his full out numbers. Where is Howard? What was his numbers?
But again, the numbers
don't care. I want to hear what his numbers is in his career.
Okay, I'm going to just say this though. Numbers for a corner can be deceiving because.
Oh well, I want to hear the numbers. How many interceptions?
Shutdown corners are not thrown at as often.
He's
22 interceptions. He had 7 in 2018. And like I said, 2019 he was a little more down. But again, he was in more of that shutdown role. 1 interception. 2017 he had 4. So
and now go to Jalen Ramsey and go to look at his numbers.
Jalen Ramsey, I know never.
Stop making excuses. Just give me the damn numbers.
Can you admit though it's a deceiving stat?
I don't care if it's deceiving. I'm trying to compare and contrast numbers from the guys. They've only been in the league for what, 5 years?
Okay, he has 11. He has 11 interceptions
okay.
For a guy that's not thrown at as often because he's that good in coverage.
And they're not throwing at Howard either. And when they do, they get crumped. Okay?
I'll admit that, but also you got to remember too, Miami this season also.
Why do you always find an excuse? Why is always? I should call this segment Speedy's excuses.
Can you admit though that some numbers are deceiving in the sense of a corner? Tayshaun Gibson.
What is so deceiving of 22 interceptions to 11? What is the deceiving
Because one
number?
guy's thrown at more often.
And why? Well, those teams are idiots. How's that sound?
Okay,
they're idiots.
That feeds into it. All right. You all right, fine. Who says Xavien Howard didn't feed off of the New York Jets' terrible Adam Gase-ness?
First of all, he had 1 interception against the Jets this past year.
Okay.
1 interception. Okay? That's not a lot. And if you look at his numbers, and I'm trying to compare and contrast his numbers to how many games has he played so far? Jalen Ramsey. How many games did he play in his career so far?
75.
Okay, and Howard has played 56. Okay. So he's played less games and has almost 11 more interceptions than Jalen Ramsey. Okay? All right. So,
but why did Ramsey play right away then, and Howard didn't?
How many touchdowns does Jalen Ramsey have in his career?
1. Okay,
and same thing with Howard. If you really look at their numbers and you compare and contrast both players, I'm sorry, I'm taking Howard over Jalen Ramsey. His numbers are better. And to me, he's more of the shutdown guy than Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey.
Now why is he thrown at more?
What do you mean he's thrown out more? If you look at it, go look at the numbers of thrown out. How much more is he getting thrown out?
Howard was thrown at a lot more in the beginning of his career than Ramsey. Ramsey was barely thrown.
Okay, and go look at most of his interceptions came this year. Most of his interceptions came this year. So what does that tell you, Speedy?
That means that means he's still getting attacked, not to the same way Ramsey is.
All right. So what did Ramsey get attacked this year? Let's go to his attack role.
He had 1 interception because he was never.
What is his attack? If you look at the numbers, how many times was he thrown to? How many times was Jalen Ramsey?
He had 9 passes deflected and 1 interception, and I'm trying to see catches allowed. They don't show catches allowed here. But Ramsey was barely thrown at in comparison to Howard because Howard also, granted, Ramsey at the beginning of his career, so this will kind of
Stop making excuses because that's not Xavien Howard's fault.
I'm not saying it is Xavien Howard's fault.
Xavien Howard has better numbers. To me, I'm taking him. I'm taking the guy that it shows on numbers. It shows right on when it comes to analytics, and we're trying to compare and contrast analytics to a player of choice. I'm taking Xavien Howard over Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, I don't want to hear about Super Bowls. This guy can't even get over the hump. He opens his mouth. How many times do you hear Xavien Howard open his mouth? Never.